What a weird year you are, 2020. The world is in shambles, sports to appear to be dead for the time being, others than some notable exceptions, and the automotive landscape is as chaotic as the brands are struggling to sell cars in this poor economic climate. So, in the midst of this, I traded my beat up old Pathfinder for a commuter, a 2019 Chevrolet Malibu LS. Truth be told, I did not expect to buy a new car this year at all. The Pathfinder was great, but it was really starting to show its almost 15-year-old age. I had a complete coolant system failure in November that led to a couple grand worth of repairs, as well as some downtime with that sitting at the shop and me having to fix it. And that was on top of just a week earlier having to replace one of the catalytic converters to pass emissions, which was, not cheap. It was also going to need a strut soon, the interior was falling apart, and the atrocious fuel economy was really taking its toll on me. Especially since I had moved and had an actual commute to work again. With racing back in full swing after the brief shutdown, I saw an opportunity to trade it in for a commuter car, and I got this. Now, go ahead, yell at me in the comments all you want. Why a Malibu? Why a modern day dad car when you could have gotten something fun or different or have a stick shift? Well, honestly, I don't really have any credit to begin with, so my options in this economic climate were kind of limited. I just happened to go to my local GM dealer, and guess what? Most cars have been discontinued in recent years, so going with a 2018 wasn't going to help build my credit. This 2019 Malibu happened to sit at a good price at around $18,000 and was the largest thing I could get for that price point that wasn't a crossover. Try as they may, I was not going to get a Buick Encore. The current Malibu is a fantastic commuter car, and despite its GM assembly issues that many scoff at, it still fits my needs for a car right now in 2020. It's not just going to be commuting to the shop every day. It's going to be making the trek to many NASCAR races as well. With the current restrictions due to the COVID outbreak, and me being a Cup guy only this year, it's simply easier for me to travel to many of the closer races myself. So far, I've driven it to both Darlington races, both Charlotte's, Bristol, and Talladega. The Malibu, with its 1.5-liter Ecotec Turbo 4, gets fantastic fuel mileage despite being such a large car, which is a win in this regard. There's no reason a car this big should be getting over 40 miles per gallon on some of these highway trips. I was shocked at just how efficient a non-hybrid car could be in 2020. And on top of that, the ergonomics simply work better as a highway cruiser compared to some of the competition. Its biggest rival, the Ford Fusion, simply has less interior space, which is an issue when you're 6'3", 275-pound fat guy. I'm a big boy, and my long legs don't crash the center console like they do in the Fusion. The A-pillar is also smaller than the Fusion's, which helps getting in and out. That's something that was actually a problem in the Fusion. The trunk space fits plenty of gear and travel bags, and the rear seats have plenty of legroom and headroom for co-workers on these drives. Would a Camry have been a better choice? Maybe. But the Malibu is a cheap commuter that fits my needs, and the buying process happened to be a quick and effortless affair in my busy schedule. So yes, continue to yell at me in the comments. But right now, the Malibu is serving its purpose as a comfortable highway cruiser. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, enough about me. Let's finally talk about the Chevrolet Malibu as a whole. This is the 9th generation of the Malibu, and 2019 is the mid-cycle refresh year. The front got a little more chrome, the interior got much improved materials and infotainment for, to be honest, the best you get. An improvement for an American car. The Malibu itself is GM's mid-size family car, a long-running nameplate that has always sold well. The Malibu was first introduced in 1964 as the top-of-the-line submodel of the mid-size Chevelle. This continued until the fourth generation was introduced in 1978, where the Chevelle was dropped altogether from the line due to the Malibu just far outselling it. 1978 also saw it move from the large A-body line to the newly introduced downsized G-body line. This continued until 1983, where the Malibu line would be replaced by the front-wheel drive Celebrity line. The nameplate would not return until 1997, where it would reappear as a smaller front-wheel drive model on the N-body line, sitting underneath the larger Lumina. Of course, this angered the boomers at the time, who were nostalgic for their easily upgradable G-body Malibus and larger Chevelle-based Malibus of yore. See, things haven't really changed, have they? The new Malibu was a cheap commuter car, something aimed squarely at the Toyota Camry, and something that would continue to chase the Camry to this very day. The 6th generation 2004 would move to GM's new global Espelon platform and grow a little bit. But it had styling. It was ugly. At least the quirky hatchback model known as the Malibu Max was a fun little side note that came out of that generation. Then came current vice chairman of GM, Bob Lutz. He was tired of the Camry and the Accord simply outdoing the Malibu in every conceivable way. So, under his leadership and the design of Brian Nesbitt, the next Malibu would become the contender they seriously needed. The 7th generation had grown and was now a comfortable competitor that could seriously be considered next to the Camry. This was something GM wasn't really known for, and was a rare bright spot from pre-bankruptcy GM. Here was proof that when they hunkered down and put in some actual effort, they could really offer something competitive. The 8th generation of 2013 was just a small evolution of this design, followed by the 9th generation that was first introduced in 2016, which was another design leap forward. Now, we're sitting in the middle of the sedan apocalypse, and all the manufacturers have had to step up their sedans in the styling department to try to not only get them to stand out from the competition, but from comparable crossover SUVs within their own lineups. The current Malibu, like the 2008 one, is a handsome design. The nose has become more wedge-shaped, the rear gained a fastback-like design. It's honestly quite elegant. The 2019 refresh made the split grille just a little bit larger and fused it with more chrome. Also, it gained an RS model that gets blacked out trim and wheels to try to give it a more sportier look. On the road, it isn't as bad as the kids would hope it would be. Now, the 1.5 liter is a small engine, and it has quite a bit of turbo lag. But once that turbo kicks in, it really gets going. The rack and pinion steering feels decent in corners, and the independent rear does great not only to soak up the bumps, but to allow some aggressive cornering as well. It's 2020, people. Your commuter cars are good now. They aren't offensive to drive anymore. Mid-size sedans are now comfortable cruisers, and a great option if you don't want to follow everyone else into the crossover world. And that's why I'm okay with dailying a Chevrolet Malibu Stacy. It fits my travel and commuter needs well. It gets excellent gas mileage, and it doesn't look bad in my driveway. The Pathfinder was nice, but I've gotten to the point where it was really going to be a better second car than a primary one. And also, the repairs were starting to stack up quite quickly. I needed a car that I could rack up the highway miles in and not have to worry about getting it dirty or breaking down on the side of the road. That's a part of growing up, unfortunately. I've dailied straight pipe Volkswagen Jettas, Geo Trackers, and rust bucket Chevy S10s. All sorts of quote-unquote fun cars compared to a 2019 dad car. But all three of those were old, beat up, uncomfortable, often, and simply not suited for a lot of the abuse I put them through. At some point, you just want an car. Something that can take you down the highway in comfort and not worry about the world. I have a second car, my Dodge Diplomat, that I've ignored in the last few months due to my crazy workload. I'll get to it soon, and hopefully it will be my fun second car on weekends and nice summer days. But I can't rely on that car to daily me 30 miles one way to work every day. I can't rely on that weird 80s Mopar ignition not to crap out suddenly, as they're known to do. I can, however, rely on this Chevrolet Malibu, and sometimes you just need to bite the bullet and buy an car. 2019 Chevrolet Malibu LS, the perfect an car for a large Wookie like myself. Thank you so much again for watching another episode of Wookie Drives. I can't wait for all the comments to yell at me that I'm an idiot for buying a Chevrolet Malibu. Whatever. Meet the new Wookiemobile. Go ahead, kids. Your tears will nourish me. If you have a car or truck you'd like to have on the show and happen to be in the Mooresville, North Carolina area, submissions can be made by messaging the official channel Facebook page at facebook.com/WookieDrives. I also have a Twitter and an Instagram at WookieAutomoTV if you'd like to see more Wookie shenanigans and banter. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and share with your friends. And also, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Wookie Drives like this. Anyways, thank you so much again for watching another episode of Wookie Drives, and have a good day.
You know, Kate, the chance of fitting a square peg into a round hole is limited merely by how you look at it. Come on, let me show you. Consider, for instance, our new Malibu and your juice. Round cup holder, square juice. Now that's attention to detail. Let's ask if we can go for a drive. Juice.
The new Malibu from Chevrolet.